UFC 251 took place on July 11th on Yas Island in Abu Dhabi, where we saw Kamaru Usman successfully make his second title defense, defeating Jorge Masvidal by unanimous decision. In the co-main event, we saw a very closely contested fight where Alexander Volkanovski was able to make his first title defense, defeating Holloway by a split decision. Overall, the whole card delivered a fantastic show, where right now it's time to determine where these fighters will go on from their victories and losses. There are certain matchups that make the most sense, which will help the winners and losers of this card progress in the rankings. So for this video, I will be talking about the 10 fights to make after UFC 251, Usman vs Masvidal. In the main event at UFC 251, Kamaru Usman defeated Jorge Masvidal via unanimous decision to retain his title. The fight that makes the most sense for him is to face Gilbert Burns next. Gilbert Burns has surged through the welterweight rankings quite drastically and has defeated some top names in the process. He was able to finish Damian Maia by TKO and ex-dominated former champion Tyron Woodley. Both fighters were scheduled to face each other at UFC 251, but Gilbert Burns tested positive for COVID-19 and was removed from the bout. Gilbert Burns is a clear number one contender, and this is the fight to make next. With Jorge Masvidal losing to Kamaru Usman, the fight that makes the most sense for him is to face Leon Edwards next. Leon Edwards has been a dark horse in the UFC's welterweight division for many years and is on the brink of challenging for the UFC welterweight title. He has racked up wins over top names such as Vicente Luque, Donald Cerrone and Rafael dos Anjos. Both Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards were involved in an altercation backstage at UFC London, and this is the fight to make next. Both fighters already have history with each other, and it will be a fun fight to see. In the co-main event, Alexander Volkanovski defeated Holloway via split decision to retain his title. The fight that makes the most sense for him is to face Chan Sung Jung next. Chan Sung Jung has looked amazing in his last few fights and has quickly made himself known to be a true challenger in the featherweight division. He has notable victories over Dustin Poirier, Dennis Bermudez, Renato Moicano and Frankie Edgar. He has a very dangerous fighting style and could give Alexander Volkanovski trouble. I believe he is the clear number one contender and deserves to get the title shot next. With Max Holloway losing to Alexander Volkanovski, the fight that makes the most sense for him is to face Zabit Magomedsharipov next. Zabit Magomedsharipov has looked sensational in his run in the featherweight division. He has surged through the featherweight rankings with impressive performances. I believe he is one or two more fights away from a title shot and definitely deserves to fight a former champion next. Both fighters like to keep the fight on the feet, and this fight will be fireworks. For the rest of the main card, Yotoyan defeated Jose Aldo by TKO in the 5th round to become the new UFC bantamweight champion of the world. The fight that makes the most sense for him is to face Aljamain Sterling next. Aljamain Sterling has dominated all of the competition he has faced so far and has solidified himself as a true number one contender in the weight class. His wrestling skills combined with his high-level grappling skills have made him into a difficult challenge for his opponents. He is currently on a 5-fight winning streak and definitely deserves the next shot at the champion. With Jose Aldo losing to Yotoyan, the fight that makes the most sense for him is to face Rafael Assunção next. Rafael Assunção has been a top-tier bantamweight for many years, where he has defeated some top names in the weight class. He has been so close to a title shot many times, but has had many setbacks along the way. He is a very well-rounded mixed martial artist and is a legit top 10 fighter in the bantamweight division, where this fight makes the most sense for Jose Aldo next. Rose Namajunas defeated Jessica Andrade via split decision. The fight that makes the most sense for her is to face the current UFC strawweight champion Zhang Weili next. Zhang Weili quickly rose up the strawweight rankings and dethroned then UFC strawweight champion Jessica Andrade, stopping her in a brutal fashion. She was next involved in one of the best women's fights in UFC history, where she successfully defended her title against former champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Rose Namajunas is the clear number one contender in the strawweight division, and this fight makes the most sense. With Jessica Andrade losing to Rose Namajunas, the fight that makes the most sense for her is to face former champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk next. Joanna Jędrzejczyk had reigned as the UFC strawweight champion for many years and looked like a dominant force. However, since losing the title, she has had many ups and downs where she hasn't been able to get back to her dominant ways. Both fighters previously fought at UFC 210, where Joanna Jędrzejczyk dominated the whole fight, winning the fight by unanimous decision. This rematch makes the most sense, where it will be interesting to see who comes out on top. And Amanda Ribas defeated Paige Van Zandt by submission via an armbar in the 1st round. The fight that makes the most sense for her is to face Tecia Torres next. Tecia Torres has been a top-tier strawweight for many years, where she has defeated some top names in the UFC. However, in recent times, she has had a very rough patch where she was on a 4-fight losing streak. She recently broke the losing streak after defeating Brianna Van Buren via unanimous decision. This fight makes the most sense, where it will be interesting to see who comes out on top. And with Paige Van Zandt losing to Amanda Ribas, she is now a free agent and will be looking to test her worth in other promotions. Okay, that's it for the matchups. I'm quickly going to go over the fights and give my thoughts. Starting off with the main event, Kamaru Usman vs Jorge Masvidal. As you guys know, Jorge Masvidal came on a week's notice and he barely had any preparation going into the fight. Gilbert Burns pulled out due to testing positive for COVID-19. Jorge Masvidal took the opportunity and came over to Fight Island and was willing to fight Kamaru Usman for the UFC welterweight title. I mean, he had a very good performance. He started off very strong. He came out very aggressive, trying to take Kamaru Usman's head off. He just stayed patient and he stayed stayed calm and was able to do what he does best, which is just neutralize people's striking and implement his wrestling game. I believe Jorge Masvidal done alright, to be honest. As the rounds progressed, you could see that both fighters were getting tired. Both fighters didn't have much preparation going to the fight as well. Kamaru Usman was supposed to face Gilbert Burns, who was a totally different fighter to Jorge Masvidal. So with the lack of preparation, I think both fighters done very well against each other. Kamaru Usman used a lot of wrestling. He just done what he does best and just implement his game plan, which is just wrestle people. I believe if Jorge Masvidal had a longer training camp, we would have seen a bit more of a competitive fight. I really don't think that this will hurt Jorge Masvidal's momentum. I mean, what can you do on a week's notice? You can't do anything. And plus he said he had to cut 20 pounds. There's a lot of things to do in a week to get prepared for your first title shot. And I believe he done alright. It was a very decent performance actually. I can see them both fighting each other rather soon actually. I believe if Jorge Masvidal wins 1 or 2 fights, he'll be right back. And yeah, overall it was a very good performance in my opinion by both fighters. Even on the short notice, both fighters adapted very well against each other's fighting style. But Kamaru Usman's wrestling game was just too much, and he just does what he does best. Yeah, and unanimous decision win for Kamaru Usman. Very good performance. Okay, for the co-main event, Alexander Volkanovski defeated Max Holloway in a very close fight. Max Holloway looked very aggressive, he pushed the pace, and he was just in his face from the get-go, and he was able to drop him 2 or 3 times. I can't remember how many times, but he did drop him. In my personal opinion, I thought Max Holloway won the fight because Alexander Volkanovski did very well as well. He remained calm and patient. Like in the first fight, Alexander Volkanovski utilized his leg kicks, but I believe Max Holloway was very prepared for that. You can see that it was a different Max Holloway as well. It was a very close fight, but I'm leaning towards that Max Holloway won the fight. But it was a very razor close fight. But Alexander Volkanovski, you know, as a champion, he done very well. For his first title defense, dethroning Max Holloway and beating him in his first title defense, that's a big thing. Yeah, it was a very close fight in my opinion. Overall, good performance by both fighters, but like I said, in my opinion, I think Max Holloway should have got the nod, but he didn't. But he would always say it is what it is. So good job to Alexander Volkanovski. Okay, moving on to the UFC Bantamweight Championship fight, Yotoyan versus Jose Alto. This was a very impressive fight. Jose Alto came out with his leg kicks. He even dropped him with one of the leg kicks. And as the rounds progressed, he just started slowing down. I'm not sure what happened there. And Yotoyan just kept getting stronger and stronger. Maybe it's all those fights he's had, all those title fights, the 5-round fights. It just takes a toll on your body. And he's only 33, Jose Aldo. Yotoyan's 28, and he's not been in many battles like he has. Like if you remember, Jose Aldo had those fights with Chad Mendes. He had some very hard battles. Those 2 losses to Max Holloway does take a toll on you. And with Yotoyan coming into this fight without having no battles like that, I think that gave him a bit of an edge. But yeah, it was a very dominant performance. I believe Jose Aldo won 2 rounds, and Yotoyan just kept getting stronger and stronger in the later rounds. But it was a great finish for Yotoyan, in my opinion. But yeah, let's see how he gets on. The bantamweight division is filled with killers. You got Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling, you got Cody Garbrandt, you got TJ Dillashaw coming back next year. Let's see how he gets on. But yeah, very big win for Yotoyan. Okay, moving on to Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas, the rematch. This was a very technical fight. Rose Namajunas, you know, she was focused. Her footwork was great. We saw Jessica Andrade using her head movement. She utilized a lot of head movement in this fight. Rose's striking looked more crisp and more accurate. Yeah, this was a very closely contested fight as well. I believe, in my opinion, Rose Namajunas took the first 2 rounds. The third round was clearly Jessica Andrade's. But yeah, it was a very decent performance by both fighters. Rose Namajunas came out looking like a different fighter. Maybe the hostile environment in Brazil may have affected her performance, but she looked more focused in an empty arena and pulled off the split decision victory. It could have gone either way, to be honest. It could have gone Jessica Andrade's way, but I think Rose Namajunas is going to fight for the title now. Yeah, overall, really good fight. It was very close. It could have gone either way. And Amanda Ribas defeated Paige Van Zandt via an armbar in the first round. Amanda Ribas has just been looking like a force to be reckoned with in the strawweight division. She gave Mackenzie Dern her first loss. She's 10-1, just looking like a very top prospect. She's well-rounded, good on the ground, good on the feet. Yeah, just a very dominant performance. I think Paige Van Zandt was just facing a better fighter overall in terms of skills. Amanda Ribas looks like a very decent prospect, and I think everyone needs to keep an eye on her. I think she will be in title contention next year. Yeah, decent performance by Amanda Ribas. Okay, thank you guys for watching. So that was the 10 fights to make after UFC 251, Usman versus Masvidal. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the section below. Also check out my other lists that I've done on my channel. I know I've switched up to news at the moment, but I'm bringing back my lists, and I want to do lists once per week. I really do enjoy making news videos, but this channel is a list channel, so I want to bring back the lists at least once a week. I appreciate your support as always, guys. Let me know in the comment section which matchups do you like, and if you agree with me or not, and let me know your matchups that you want to see after UFC 251. Also let me know what you thought of UFC 251, the good, the bad, the ugly, wherever you want to tell me, just let me know in the comment section below. I appreciate your support as always, and I mean it. I really appreciate every single one of you who supports this channel, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.